Today, we're diving into a hot topic: the renewed push in Congress to modernize federal technology procurement. There's a bipartisan bill making waves in the House.
Absolutely. It's called the Federal IT Modernization and Acquisition Reform, or FITARA 2.0 by some. The goal is to make government tech buying less cumbersome and more efficient.
That's right. The federal procurement process has a reputation for being slow and outdated. Why do you think it's so challenging for agencies to keep up with tech advancements?
Well, the rules were written decades ago. Tech changes fast, but the processes haven't kept pace. By the time a contract's signed, the technology might be obsolete.
That's a real problem. Imagine ordering a smartphone today and receiving it 2 years later only to find it's already retro.
Exactly. And agencies need modern tools to serve the public effectively. The current system can stifle innovation and lock government into old solutions.
This new bill aims to change that by updating the federal acquisition regulation. It wants to encourage more agile procurement, right?
Yes, and it's not just about speed. The bill also seeks to expand the pool of vendors, especially small businesses and startups.
That's huge. Smaller companies often bring cutting-edge ideas but shy away from federal contracts because of the red tape.
I've heard stories of startups being interested in government work, but giving up after seeing the paperwork mountain.
No wonder. The process can feel like a maze with no exit. Do you think these reforms could actually make the government a more attractive customer?
If the reforms pass and are implemented well, definitely. Faster, simpler procurement could mean more innovation in government services. Think better cybersecurity, updated websites, and smarter data tools.
The bill also emphasizes cloud services and commercial off-the-shelf solutions. That's a shift from custom government-only tech.
Yes, and that's a big deal. Using what's already proven in the market can save time and money. Why reinvent the wheel every time?
But there's always the challenge of security and compliance. The government has unique needs.
True, but commercial solutions can be tailored. Plus, cloud services have matured a lot. They're more secure and flexible than ever.
One thing I found interesting is the bipartisan support. Tech procurement isn't usually front-page news, so why do you think it's getting cross-party attention?
I think both sides recognize the stakes. Outdated tech isn't just inconvenient. It can be risky, especially with cybersecurity threats rising.
That makes sense. No one wants to see another massive data breach or a critical system failure.
And there's the taxpayer angle. Modernizing procurement could mean better value for money, less waste, and more accountability.
The bill also proposes pilot programs, letting agencies test new procurement approaches before scaling up.
That's a smart move. It's like trying a new recipe on a small group before serving it at a big dinner party.
I like that analogy. If it flops, at least you haven't burned the whole feast.
Exactly. Pilots let agencies experiment with fewer risks and adjust based on real feedback.
But getting buy-in from procurement officers and agency leadership is crucial. Change isn't always easy in government.
That's true. There's a culture of caution for good reason, but hopefully the bill includes training and support for staff.
The article mentions support from industry groups, too. Tech vendors want a fairer, clearer process.
Right. And when procurement is less of a headache, the government can attract more diverse solutions and providers.
One concern raised is about oversight. How do you balance speed with accountability and transparency?
That's the million-dollar question. The bill includes reporting requirements and performance metrics, which should help.
Metrics can show what's working and what's not, but they need to be meaningful, not just boxes to tick.
Agreed. And Congress will still have oversight, so agencies can't just go rogue with spending.
Another aspect is digital services. The bill pushes for user-centered design, making government tech more accessible.
That's long overdue. Some federal websites are notorious for confusing layouts.
I've spent ages trying to find forms on government sites. If modernization makes things smoother, I'm all for it.
Me too. The private sector's focus on usability can really benefit public services.
The bill also encourages collaboration between agencies so they're not reinventing the wheel separately.
Sharing best practices and tools can save money and avoid duplication. It's like pooling recipes in a community cookbook.
Nice metaphor, but what about the cost? Modernization isn't cheap, even if it saves money long term.
The bill proposes initial investments, but argues it'll pay off through efficiency and reduced maintenance costs.
Upgrading legacy systems is expensive, but maintaining them can be even costlier over time.
Plus, old systems can be vulnerable to hacks. There's a security cost to standing still.
Some critics worry that reforms could open doors to favoritism or rushed decisions.
That's why built-in transparency and competition are key. The more eyes on the process, the better.
The House is expected to debate the bill soon. If it passes, what's the next step?
The Senate would need to consider it, and then agencies would have to start implementing changes.
Implementation is always the sticking point. Legislation is only the first step.
Right. Success depends on leadership, resources, and ongoing oversight.
What do you think will be the biggest challenge in putting these reforms into practice?
Probably resistance to change and the complexity of integrating new processes with existing ones.
And the need to balance innovation with security. Agencies can't afford to rush into new tech recklessly.
Exactly. It's about smart, thoughtful adoption, not just chasing the latest trend.
Do you think these changes could help attract more tech talent to government?
Potentially, yes. Modern tools and less bureaucracy make public service more appealing to skilled professionals.
That could be a game changer. The government needs tech-savvy staff to make the most of new systems.
And ongoing training will be essential. Tech doesn't stand still, and neither can the workforce.
The article notes that past efforts at procurement reform have had mixed results. What makes this attempt different?
The emphasis on pilots, bipartisan support, and a clear focus on digital services all set it apart.
Plus, the urgency is higher now with more reliance on digital government since the pandemic.
That's true. The shift to remote work and online services highlighted just how essential modern IT is for government.
If you could change one thing about federal procurement, what would it be?
I'd simplify the vendor onboarding process, make it easier for new players to get a foot in the door.
I'd push for more user feedback loops, actually asking citizens and staff what works and what doesn't.
Both good ideas. Ultimately, the goal is better government services for everyone.
And that's something we can all get behind.
Absolutely. Let's hope this bipartisan bill is the start of real, lasting change.
If you're curious about how these reforms could affect you, keep an eye on the House proceedings in the coming weeks.
And maybe ask yourself, what would you want government tech to do better?
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us today.
See you next time for more on tech, policy, and the future of government.
Thanks for watching. I'm Nancy, your AI avatar. If you like this podcast, you can get one for yourself based on a website, YouTube video, or any source. Contact me to get a customized quote for your content. See you soon.